Hi, I'm Don, and this is the Hobbyist Geek. Welcome back, y'all. So today we're trying out something brand new to me. It is a model by Microworld. I'm going to be honest, I don't particularly know what to expect. I just thought the product images were kind of cool. They seem to have this entire line of animals, both modern and extinct, done up like robots with weapons and stuff. Kind of reminded me of maybe Transformers Beast Wars or the Dinobots. Not entirely sure what kind of model it is. So let's just take a look at the packaging, see what comes inside. And here is the packaging for our Stegasaurus by Microworld. It does say 3D metal model, which I've seen used to describe several different things, to be perfectly honest. Looking over the product, I mean, honestly, this looks kind of like a Metal Earth new model style, but I don't see any exposed tabs or anything like that, so maybe I'm wrong. I guess we'll find out. More product images. Oh, it is. Look at this. There's your typical like Metal Earth style instructions. Very cool. All right. Well, let's get this puppy open and see what the metal looks like. Alrighty, so we've got our sleeve off. Let's open the box. Okay. Okay. Pamphlet for more stuff. Yeah, see, look at that line. Does that not look cool? I really hope this turns out well, because I did pick up 3 of them already, but if it's good, I may just continue the line until we're done, because that just looks cool to me. Okay, here is our instruction sheet. Let's see here. Please be the full thing. Please be the full thing. Not some quick start guide that points me to a website. Okay. Okay, well, I can't read any of that. So, more product images. Selling other products. Here we go. Wow, look at all of those pieces. On 6 sheets, according to the instructions. Oh yeah, okay. This is pretty much your standard set of instructions, but I gotta admit, these images are very large and easy to read. I mean, I can't promise it's like that through the whole thing, but here at the beginning, that's actually, I would like this. This actually looks easier to read than the Metal Earth ones. Much larger for my old eyes. All right. And here, okay, now why would you do that? So they put this protective plastic in for the metal, and then they taped it down. So if you try to pull it out, it's like trying to bend the metal. There we go. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. All right. Oh no. Each of these is individually wrapped, and they tape them together too. Let's get that open. Wow. All right, I am not a fan of the way they package that, to be honest. I like the individually wrapped sheets like this. Did I not see? I swear there was one that had a small, yeah, Here we go. So this is a double packed, or a double sheet pack here, but okay. Yeah, it looks like none of the rest of these are. I do like this blue-red contrast, and look at the laser etching on that. That is absolutely gorgeous. Each of these sheets, look at that. They've even got the part numbers on the sheets. I love it when they print the part numbers on the sheets. Makes things easier as you're going along. What's more is all of these pieces look very large too. I'm not seeing anything that's particularly small. This may end up being a very, very easy build. Look at this. They got the red and the blue and then the meld of the two. This is going to be a gorgeous piece. It really is. There is, however, some damage. You can see the curve here. I mean, this metal is designed to be shaped, so I don't think it's going to affect the final product that much, but there is a little bit of damage. I also think this is going to be way bigger than I thought it was going to be, based on the size of these pieces. All right, cool. Well, how about we get some of these cut out and get started on this thing. Alrighty, this is about as far as I can take it today. This thing is really, really looking great, but it does have its problems, and it's got its positives here, and we'll get into both. First and foremost, this is listed as an 8 out of 10 difficulty. It earns every single number in that difficulty range. It really, really does. This is not a beginner piece. It's not a novice piece. It's not even an amateur piece. You really, really need to have some experience before you take this buddy on. Let's start with the negatives so we can end on a happy note. Negative number 1, the instructions. In a lot of ways, they kind of suck. I'll show you what I mean. Number 1, this right here is a single piece, and then this is what it's folded into. But there's no direction as to how it's folded or how the tabs are supposed to go. As an example, that little blue circle means you're supposed to fold a tab. That green triangle means you're supposed to twist it. But when you're folding this piece into this, you're supposed to fold them if you want a cleaner look. Okay? The twist is for the tabs on this piece that are going in. So there's a lot of areas like this where the instructions only kind of give you a half measure. And that to me is a problem, especially if you don't have the experience to know how to get this done. Another good example, let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, this right here, this piece, okay? That's not how it shows up, and it doesn't even give a template to show you what the original is. It just kind of shows it already folded, okay? And what's more is if you try to put all of these other little pieces on here after you folded it, you're going to have major clearance issues. Okay, you want to leave this unfolded, then add all of these excess pieces, and then you put it on. Then you fold it into place. There are the occasional areas where you're going to have a little tab like this right here. Actually has a tab way down on the bottom on either side. Okay, it's not shown here in the instructions at all. That tab, this is the piece we're talking about right here. That tab is actually underneath this. So if you put this in place before you get those tabs in, you may have a clearance area, issue getting those in. So the end result is, and you can see how thin this is compared to my tweezers. Okay, and they want you to add all of these little details onto this after it's folded and then somehow get up inside there to twist it. So the instructions are definitely not laid out in a friendly manner that will benefit you if you follow them to the letter. Okay, that's problem number 1. Problem number 2 is the paint job. Okay, the paint is absolutely gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, it is gorgeous. It's also a little thick, and they did not take that thickness into account when it comes to these little slots. I don't even know if that's showing up on here, but the little slots that the tabs go in. So in a lot of cases, it's very, very difficult to get those tabs in place. And in some cases, you might be able to see some silver glinting here. That's because the tab was stripped of paint as it pushed through the slot. Okay. It's acceptable for the most part, but there are some areas in which it creates a construction problem. Up here, for example, where you're dealing with very small, very fragile areas, and you're trying to get multiple tabs in and they just won't go and you can't see what's going on because it's so congested, it's going to make it very easy to break pieces. And in fact, I did. Up here at the top of the jaw, there's a little piece that's got a tab on there that actually broke off as I was putting it in. I was able to put it in individually, and in fact on the other side I intentionally broke it so that I could put it in individually because I couldn't get it in on either side. It is not required as far as ensuring we have a complete piece. I have not put any glue on this whatsoever. There is a little bit of flexibility here in the jaw that probably would not be there if I hadn't done that, but it's still a fairly stable piece. So I'm not too concerned there, but I don't like the fact that this broke or that I had to break the other one to get it in. Okay, so we've got those issues too. I'm not a fan of the fact that these sheets, while they do have the numbers on them, okay, all of them start at 1 and then count up. Okay, so knowing the number is not enough. You also need to know the sheet. Now the sheet is not really labeled clearly. I'm sure you look on here and you can barely see it. That's because it's way down here in very tiny, hard to read letters, along with what looks like, a copyright, to be perfectly honest. And it's almost impossible to tell. Worse, they use lowercase letters instead of uppercase letters. So A and E in the instructions, written in this little gray right there, look almost identical. In this case, that's an E. Right here, that's an A. I don't know how well that's showing up. I'm trying to bring it in. I don't know if the focus is working. But so E and then A. Okay, and they look almost identical. So, and considering that not all of the pieces in the instructions actually have a display of what it looks like in the sprue, that could be problematic in the future. We'll see. Can't really say for sure right now. Now onto the positives. Okay, I love the paint job on this side. I think this blue is great. I think that red eye really shows out. The contrast of the red and blue for the gun is actually pretty spectacular. I love it. On the flip side, we've got the red version. While still very pretty, I'm less enthused about the red version. I'm not entirely sure why. I think it's just a personal preference, but in my case, like the eye is red and then the face is red. So you can't really see the eye. It doesn't stand out like it does on this side. So maybe that's the entirety of it. I'm not sure. But it's still a very pretty paint job. It really is. Next, you can see inside here these rectangles, okay? There is a core that goes through this entire piece, okay, that you're building up, okay? You can even see like the outline of it there at the base of that, okay? This is a very structurally sound piece. In fact, I think it's probably one of the most structurally sound and strongest pieces I've ever put together. I can probably squeeze this pretty hard. In fact, I can squeeze it pretty hard, not full strength, but pretty hard, and it's not going to deform, okay? What's more is that core allows us to add all of this layering that you're seeing here. So you've got this beautiful set of armor plates that are just layered on there, and it is spectacular. I absolutely love that. The folds themselves are pretty straightforward, to be honest, if you know what you're doing. They're pretty straightforward. There's no real major complicated folds. And then you've got these beautiful spines. And again, they start off very simple down here, okay? And then they get far more complicated as you go, with a lot more pieces, and you've got the silver highlights, and even the spines have that red-blue aesthetic that separates the two halves of our beastie here. So all in all, I am really enjoying this so far. This is a complicated piece. It is a huge piece. I mean, this is really just the forward neck and the guns, to be honest. I haven't even got to the spot where we start putting on the legs yet. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, it's even got a little tongue in there. Little cheek muscles for a robot. So I'm loving this. I can't wait to see what comes next. I just wish that it was a little more friendly to the casual builder. Not everything has to be the most difficult thing you ever build, you know? Anyway, that's about all I've got to say for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Have a great day.